What's going on? This is Shanman with OG Spin Dash Productions. Today we are switching it up a little bit. We are going off the main course of Sonic games into Sonic R, a somewhat spin-off kind of Sonic game on the Sega Saturn. It is Sonic's first racing game outside of a car, where they're all on their legs and stuff. So we had to have a racing game like that. So anyway. Happy holidays, and I hope you enjoyed the review. Sonic R was released November 18th, 1997 in North America. I played the PC port a ton as a kid, ate it up. Anything Sonic was like drugs to me back then. Kids nowadays can just play Sonic 2 on their phone with their mom's credit card. So the Sega Saturn is the only Sega console not to have a premier Sonic game. A game by the name of Sonic X-treme was originally going to fill that role, but it was cancelled. And I don't think too many people complain after seeing the concept videos. Sonic R was one of the first Sonic games released with full 3D models, alongside Sonic the Fighters and Sonic Jam. And for a Saturn game, it looked pretty good. Like many of the Genesis games, there's a story never explained in the game and only in the manual, so let's take a quick look. While planning for a vacation, Sonic and Tails spot an advertisement for the World Grand Prix. Sonic, not particularly interested in racing as he already knows he's the fastest, notices Robotnik will be participating and agrees to enter to uncover what Robotnik may be planning. Knuckles and Amy also join, hoping to compete with and impress Sonic respectively. Unbeknownst to everyone else, Dr. Robotnik has already located the 7 Chaos Emeralds and plans to obtain them and outrace Sonic at the same time. Alright. It's never clearly stated if Robotnik is the one organizing this event or if he just so happens to stumble upon it. Either way, there is no reason for Robotnik to invite Sonic and company to the Emeralds, let alone get his ass handed to him in a race. You think Robotnik could just gather up the Emeralds while Sonic takes a vacation, no race involved. Obviously, I'm reading too far into this, and it's just a lazily written plot made by a marketing team to gather the Sonic cast for a racing game. Which is exactly what it is. Sonic R, at its core, is a racing game. Do 3 laps around the course before everyone else. Sonic R is also part Collectathon. Instead of Power Stars or Jigsaw pieces, there are rings, Chaos Emeralds, and Sonic coins spread throughout the courses. Collecting these leads to obtaining the game's many unlockable characters. Imagine really quick that we took 75% of the handling and control concepts of Diddy Kong Racing and 25% of a 3D platformer like Banjo-Kazooie and mashed them together. That is what Sonic R feels like. Regardless of what character you select, they make turns like a tank on ice. If you find yourself at a dead end or take the wrong exit and have to flip a bitch, it is a nightmare. There is no good way to collect coins like this, apart from coming to a complete stop to turn around. Oh, you need to make 2 hairpin turns in a row? Well, good luck not bumping into walls while the AI navigates it flawlessly. You can influence your turning by holding the left and right triggers a bit. It feels like a lean more than a drift, and I recommend you use it just because it's better than slowing down. But it's still pretty useless. You can play Sonic R solely as a racing game, ignoring all of the collectibles and gunning for first place. If you go this route, you will finish the game and see credits roll in less than 15 minutes. The game ships with 5 total courses, all of which can be completed in about 2 minutes. Compare that to the 16 plus 4 battle courses of Mario Kart 64. One cool thing you can do in R and not Mario Kart is change the weather. It's a nice touch, the stage looks a little different and the water freezes if it's snowing. It's like being kicked in the nuts and realizing you paid full price for 5 levels. It's a nice slice of cake someone places on the ground for you. The characters available are a different story. There are 4 from the start, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, and 6 unlockable through collecting the 5 hidden Sonic coins in each stage, finishing 3rd or above and beating that character on a one-on-one race. Apart from Super Sonic, which you need all the emeralds for. These are Metal Sonic, Tails Doll, Metal Knuckles, and Egg Robo. You also get Robotnik after finishing first on the last stage. I really like the size of the cast, but after trying them all out, you'll find there are some large balancing issues going on here. So here's a quick tier list. Garbage tier. Robotnik, Egg Robo, and Amy. These characters all share one thing in common, and that is the lack of a jump. Jumping is not 100% essential in Sonic R, but what these characters have in place of the jump is nowhere near comparable. Robotnik and Egg Robo have a lock-on missile attack that, at its best, bumps your opponent a few centimeters. Amy gets a boost that lasts a few seconds, but she has the slowest overall speed and, quoting the manual, best handling. Which is a flat out lie, as no character in this game has any sort of handling. Bottom tier, Tails and Tails Doll. Tails has the ability to fly for a short while and is slower than Sonic and Knuckles. But honestly, the reason I never pick him is because the sound effect of his tail spinning makes it sound like he's shitting his pants. Next up is Tails Doll. And yes, we'll talk about the curse. So instead of getting a metal version of Tails, we get Tails Doll, a puppet-looking version of Tails with this metal rod sticking out of its head with a red gem on top. He is the only character who completely ignores water and hovers upward when you hold the jump button. He's honestly just a shitty version of Tails that doesn't make the farting sound effect. But Tails Doll is easily most known for its creepy design that birthed what several fans refer to as the Tails Doll curse. This has been around just as long as YouTube has, and after recently reading up on it again, the following has only gotten stronger as there are apparently 3 ways to trigger the curse. 1 instructing you to go into the bathroom, turn the lights off, face the mirror, and listen to Can You Feel the Sunshine or Living in the City, 2 songs from the game's soundtrack, backwards. Obviously these sound ridiculous, and we don't know the exact person who started these rumors, but regardless, it's kind of cool that the design of this one character started all this buzz. Mid-tier, Sonic and Knuckles. I usually use these 2 to start. Sonic can double jump and Knucks can glide, but not climb. Both, along with Tails, have a spin dash that is pretty useless apart from the start of the race, as it can only be activated from a standstill. I prefer Knuckles' glide and his reduced speed, as they make collecting the coins and emeralds a little bit easier. Top tier, Metal Sonic and Metal Knuckles. Both can hover over water for a few seconds, while Metal Knuckles is a bit faster and can glide. Metal Sonic can jump a little higher, but I feel like most people pick Metal Knuckles over him. I always thought the design for Metal Knuckles was really cool and unique, but it sucks that he just wasn't in any other games. I guess he was kind of in Sonic Advance, but whatever. God tier, Super Sonic. Naturally, you need all of the Chaos Emeralds to unlock this dude, but once you do, prepare to have every single race dominated by him. By far the best speed and a double jump. Do keep in mind you will only ever see Super Sonic and other hidden characters, minus Robotnik, as opponents if you yourself are playing as one. Which is mostly fair unless you're using like Egg Robo or Tails Doll, where you're probably just going to get your ass handed to you. During your races, you'll find old and new items and obstacles, from springs and loop-de-loops to these winged star emblems along the way that randomly grant either rings, speed shoes, a water shield, letting you walk on water from beginning to end once, or an electric shield which will gather nearby rings. Economics is the name of the game for getting around these tracks. Several yellow and gray gates can be found in every level with a number on them indicating how many rings are required to buy entry. Every stage also includes a single boost pad that will set your character on an automatic path. How far you travel on that path is dependent on the number of rings you give it, maxing out at 50. Think of it like a hard-coded boost. I'm guessing that Traveler's Tales wanted to implement like a boost pad similar to those that we would eventually see in Sonic Adventure, but realized the game was already uncontrollable enough. Resort Island is the game's first course, and it features waterfalls, caves, and a loop-de-loop. Pretty standard affair for an early Sonic level. Radical City, my favorite stage of the 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people disagreed with me, as it's the most convoluted map as well. If you aren't familiar with the layout and diverge from the main path, it is confusing as hell to find where you are going, or if you are actually taking a shorter route or not. The coins are spread all over and might take multiple tries to find, but the AI has so much trouble navigating this map sometimes, you usually have enough time to pick them all up. Plus, I love the image of the cityscape in the background and the casino area near the end. It just feels so Sonic. Regal Ruins. This course borrows from Sandopolis with its desert, pyramid theme, and echidna-headed sphinxes. Like the other stages, it's filled with alternative paths and shortcuts. There is one in particular that is almost too good and cuts out like half the track. Reactive Factory. Definitely the most tricky course in the game. Finding the coins isn't too bad, although this one where you have to enter a room and make a 180 degrees turn to exit blows. The 2 Chaos Emeralds here actually take a bit to appear once you open the 50 ring gates, forcing you to stop and wait for them to drop. You know, not like this is a racing game or anything. Last up is Radiant Emerald. Think Rainbow Road with guardrails. This is definitely the most linear course with only a few alternate paths. The entire track glows different colors, sometimes making it really hard to see where the hell you're going. If you play this as Supersonic, you will hear the game's main theme, Supersonic Racing, play in place of the stage's song, Diamond in the Sky. Speaking of Elephant in the Room, the music tracks of the game were all composed by Richard Jacques and sung by British pop singer TJ Davis. It's definitely an odd choice for a Sonic racing game, but I think it fits well. I don't know, you like it or you don't. It's definitely one of the two things that this game is most known for, the other being the Tails doll. Apart from the main Grand Prix single-player mode, there is also a time trial mode where you can race your past times in ghost form, tag mode where you can chase down 4 opponents, this balloon mode where you find these 5 hidden balloons across each track, and a split screen mode letting you race against another player or play the balloon game with them. I guess it adds something else to do as the amount of content is already pretty bare. I think Sonic R and Sonic X-treme was just Sega testing the waters of a 3D Sonic before they went all in with Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, a system that people would actually buy. It kind of sucks to pick apart a game that was like such a big part of my childhood. I still go back to it occasionally for that like sweet hit of nostalgia, and because it's really short. I only recommend Sonic R if you're really curious or a really big Sonic fan. And with that, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, etc., and have a good night.